Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Elite Weather. My name is Mr. G, your meteorologist. I have an admission to make, but I recorded an entire video and forgot to record. So I'm doing the video all over again because I forgot to hit the record button. So here we are. That was a practice run through. Here is our real video, everybody. Now and then I make mistakes sometimes too. So let's get started with that weather forecast. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend this weekend. And I know for some of you the weather is a little bit iffy at times, but I hope you're making it through. Thinking of iffy weather, our city of the day is Oklahoma City, and what we're looking at here, that is the state capital out there in Oklahoma City. My nephew lives out here, so shout out to my little nephew Anthony. He is an English high school teacher in Oklahoma City. So he is what we need, young black teachers, especially high school and English teachers. So shout out to my little nephew out there in Oklahoma City doing his thing. And unfortunately for my nephew, the weather kind of sucked in Oklahoma City. I'm trying to determine if this is snow, but I don't think it's snow. I think it's just the reflection of a wet roadway. But in Oklahoma City, you are dealing with some freezing rain through some parts of the city, especially in your northwestern suburbs there, and area of the village and points north and western. There is some freezing rain and sleet taking place around the Oklahoma City. I don't know how close it is to downtown yet, but we are going to be seeing that freezing rain across Oklahoma City. So be careful because it's really slippery out there when the freezing rain occurs. I don't like a freezing rain. It's my least favorite thing when it comes to the weather because a lot of people end up hurt and in the hospital. A lot of broken hips out there because of freezing rain and that ice. So let's move on with the rest of the forecast for the rest of America as we talk about what to expect for the rest of your Sunday and your Halloween and next week. All right, so as we work to forecast for the rest of the country, so let's jump into our first map. Thank you for joining me, everybody, here on your Sunday afternoon. Leave a like and comment on the channel here on YouTube and TikTok. I'll try to make sure it's not too long to be on for me to upload to TikTok. My video yesterday was too long to upload to TikTok, so I wasn't able to post it on TikTok. So if it's more than 30 minutes, you can't post it to the platform. So we'll try to keep it less than 30 minutes to get today, guys, okay? So here we are as we take a look at our surface map, our radar with our fronts overlaid here. You can see that big cold front from South Texas all the way up the Appalachian Mountain Range toward the northeast, and you can see all of that rainfall right here across the Ozarks and the Mid-South and the Midwest here, the southern Ohio Valley. We're seeing those rain showers and some thunderstorms as well, but we're also seeing a lot of rain up there into the northeast and into New England and parts of Canada as well, and we're seeing that freezing rain here through parts of western Oklahoma. So Oklahoma City, we do have a little bit of freezing rain in this area right now, and we have some snow and freezing rain and frozen precipitation moving through parts of Colorado and Kansas, Nebraska, parts of Missouri, Iowa, and Wisconsin. We're seeing that frozen precipitation, and up there in Michigan as well, and into Ontario, Canada, we're seeing some of that rain and snow, maybe a little bit of freezing rain. It's just a mixed bag of wintry precipitation. Scattered snow showers across the northern plains, so North and South Dakota, we're seeing some scattered snow showers this afternoon as well. Dry weather across the west, so the Pacific Northwest down through Southern California and Arizona is very dry, but those high winds are blowing across the deserts out there and below the canyons and passes. So very dry air is in place, and the risk for fires are elevated this weekend as well. And beautiful weather across the south. Look how nice and dry it is across the southeast and the state of Florida. And you guys have paid a had to deal with the tremendous heat. Still a little warm this weekend as you are on the warm side of our front, so we have some warm air advection. So some of you are flirting with temperatures around 90 degrees, but you are having overall a very nice weekend out there as you are on the warm side of the front. As we take a look at the temperatures across the country right now, and you can see that cold air plunging down out of Canada, and it's coming down from the central and southern Canada, and straight down to the south through parts of Texas, where those temperatures have dropped to the 30-degree mark across northern Texas and into Oklahoma. We're seeing those low 30s. This is cold enough for snow, so we're seeing those temperatures cold enough for snow across the high plains there in the southern plains. So again, we are seeing that freezing rain where it's cold enough for snow, and that air is freezing right above the surface. So any rainfall that is falling from the clouds is freezing right before it hits the ground. So we're seeing freezing rain, and we're also seeing some sleet out there as well. So a mixed bag of wintry precipitation across the southern plains and through parts of the Ohio Valley. We're also seeing some rain and a little bit of frozen precipitation as well. Some areas is picking up some snow a little bit further to the north through the arrowhead of Minnesota, through parts of Michigan and Wisconsin as well. And in the northeast, we're starting to see some rain showers and some thunder moving into parts of the mid-Atlantic states. So around DC and New York City, points southward through North Carolina and Virginia, we can see some rumbles of thunder. But further to the south, we're having that beautiful weather, those temperatures in the 80s from the Gulf Coast down through the state of Florida. So some areas is having some really nice weather, but the rest of you, not too pretty right now today, I'm sorry to say. But if we take a look at what we're seeing out there this weekend, we have our wintry precipitation to the north there. We have our mixed bag of precipitation across the plains. So Texas and Oklahoma, Kansas, back through Colorado, we're seeing that freezing rain and sleet and some snow. So mixed bag of frozen precipitation. We have rain and thunderstorms across the southern plains of Texas, in eastern Oklahoma, the Ozarks, Missouri, southern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. We're seeing those showers and thunderstorms. More consistent and heavier rainfall in the dark green areas here. Those rain showers are a little bit less consistent further to the north. Mixed showers, mixed bag of precipitation, on and off again showers, but much more consistent rain, heavier rain in the dark green with some embedded thunder as well. But beautiful weather down here across the southeast. So the lower Mississippi River Valley, the deep south, the southeast, and the state of Florida is going to be dry and a bit warm as well. Those temperatures in the 80s. So beautiful stuff for you guys. But as we look at Halloween, beautiful weather along the Gulf Coast. But check it out. Those showers and thunderstorms start to move in to parts of the south and the southeast. So you're going to see it warm, but you will continue with some showers and thunderstorms. So no severe weather expected, but some isolated severe storms is going to be possible. But behind the front, this is where our frontal boundary is going to be when we hit Halloween. But on the back side of that front, we're going to see those winds coming from the north and the northwest. Very cold, much colder, and those winds are going to make it feel quite brisk as well. So 30-mile-an-hour winds and much colder air moving in behind that very strong front. We'll see mixed precipitation up in the Great Lakes, so Michigan, Ontario, Canada, maybe parts of Pennsylvania, upstate New York. You're going to see that rain and snow mix and those gusty winds on the backside of that departing storm system. And it's going to remain cold across the upper Midwest and the high plains. So North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Montana, and Wyoming and Nebraska, you guys are going to be under that late fall chill, so it's going to be very cold. Those overnight lows will be in the teens to 20s with daytime highs in the lower to mid 30s. So it's going to be very cold across the upper Midwest. and a little bit chilly across the Rockies into the southern high plains, and seasonal weather for the Pacific Northwest. So that is what your Halloween is going to look like. Boo! So scary weather for some of you folks, and it's going to be tricky, and dress appropriately for the weather in your area. Okay, guys? All right, so thinking of being appropriate is being appropriate with fire across the western United States. We have Santa Ana winds blowing across the deserts in Southern California. That's that dry wind that's blowing off of the landmass toward the ocean because of high pressure over the Rockies. And that big ridge of high pressure is a high amplitude high. Air flows from the mountains from up high down low to the valleys and the sea and the ocean, the coastline there in California. And those winds are very dry. Those winds are very fast, and they get even faster blowing between the mountain ranges, below the canyons and passes, through places like Tehachapi, the Grapevine, as well as through the El Cajon Pass, where you can see those winds increase to 50 miles per hour. So we have an elevated fire danger across the southwest and through central and northern California. That includes parts of Nevada as well. So please be careful if you're playing with fire this weekend and into early next week, as we have critical fire weather to worry about out there. Now, we're going to see those Santa Anas in Southern California, and we're going to see those strong winds in central and northern California. So those gusty winds, that dry air, unseasonable, relatively warm weather with those temperatures in the 80s and lower 90s. So that's going to be the fuel for fire. So we're also going to see those downpours that consistent. We have that heavy rain that's falling from central Texas and Mexico all the way through Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, you're going to see through Tennessee, Kentucky, the southern portions of Illinois and Indiana and Ohio. We're going to have this band of heavy rain and embedded thunderstorms that could lead to some flash flooding. So please pay attention to your road conditions and flight information. This can cause delays as far as travel is concerned with this amount of heavy rain, and some of this is mixing with snow and sleet and freezing rain on the back edge of this, especially right along this border area here, where we're going to see it switch over to some mixed precipitation. So a very tricky situation moving across parts of the southern plains and through parts of the mid-south and the southern Ohio Valley and the Corn Belt there. So a lot of tricky weather to deal with through parts of the Midwest. Thinking of tricky weather in the Midwest, here is that freezing rain that we're going to be seeing in North Texas, Oklahoma, and through Kansas, parts of Colorado, and New Mexico as well. We're going to be dealing with that freezing rain. We're already seeing that freezing rain falling across those areas right now as we speak, as I record this video. Here is our very wet storm moving through the mid-Atlantic states. So we're going to see that heavy rain here from parts of Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, through Kentucky, southern Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, down through Tennessee as well. This is going to be that band of heavy rain and thunderstorms. Showery weather will be to the north through parts of Illinois, Indiana, northern Ohio, Pennsylvania, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts, where we're going to see scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder too, but the heavier rainfall is going to be in the darker green, but down to the south it's going to remain nice and warm. So if you're Virginia Beach and maybe down from the DC, it's going to be to the south of the heavier rain, and we're going to see that nice weather again for Charlotte and folks in North Carolina and South Carolina. You guys are going to miss out on some of that rainfall. Lucky you, you might get some showers as we get later into the week, but as we move off onto this, for the remainder of the weekend and your Monday, you guys are going to be okay for to the south, but to the north and east, you're going to be dealing with that rain and those thunderstorms. Now, after that front passes, the warm air heads out over the Atlantic. We start to see that warm air jam up here across parts of the eastern side of the Appalachian mountain range, which is right in this area. This front is going to be right over the Appalachian Mountains, so we're going to see that warm air bunch up right here. So warm air from Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and through Georgia and Florida. So nice and warm for these folks. But the bad news is on the backside of this very strong, potent cold front. We're going to see those winds change direction from the southwest here to the northwest here. We're going to see blustery and about 40 degrees colder. When we're in the 80s here, we're going to drop into the 40s. So 40-degree drop in those temperatures behind that advancing cold front. It's going to be brutal. That's going to hurt. Ouch. Wow, man. Wow. I'm not envious of you. So here we are, Tuesday through Wednesday. That colder air really takes hold. There's going to be there for you. You're going to take a big bite of that cold sandwich. Y'all going to share it. I'm going to have a piece of it too on the back end here in Minnesota. But the Great Lakes, the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic states, those temperatures are going to be 40 degrees, 30 to 40 degrees colder, and it's going to be very windy as well. So that's going to be quite blustery. That's not going to be pretty. That's going to go through your Halloween festival. So any trick-or-treating and party going is going to be out in the cold. Then we're going to see those temperatures very cold for what you've been used to in the Northeast, where you're going to see along the big cities, the I-95 corridor, you're going to still be in the 40s. It's going to be still comfortable. That really big cold slap is going to be for the folks in the interior. So if you're in the Adirondacks or the Appalachian Mountains westward, if you're along the Continental Ridge here and the Great Lakes, you're going to see those overnight lows in the teens way up there in Minnesota, northern Michigan, and Canada, 20s and 30s here in the lighter blue, but in the gray it's going to be 30 to 40. So all in all, not too bad for overnight lows in this region, but it's going to feel cold because you're not used to that kind of cold. But it's not too bad. You can deal with that. You can deal. So here we are as we look at your cold expanding through next week. So the Great Lakes, especially the Northeast, the Corn Belt, the Upper Midwest, is going to be cold and windy. Strong winds from the northwest. Those temperatures will be about 15 degrees below historical average for highs and low temperatures overnight. So enjoy, get ready for that. But there is a reward for you. There is your reward. This is going to be Thursday into the weekend. Boom. Look at that. Check that. I'm going to step off the camera just so you can see how nice it's going to get across the Northeast. So you're going to see those temperatures warm quite nicely across the eastern United States and the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, where those temperatures are going to rise 10 degrees above the historical average for this time of the year. So there is a payoff for the momentary bit of suffering that you will have to suffer through early in the week, but your second half of the week, much better. My name is Mr. G. That is your weather forecast for today. Thank you for watching me. Leave a like, comment on YouTube and TikTok. I actually recorded the video. I see the blue indicating that it's recording. Great. Excellent. Have a good rest of the weekend and the start of your week next week, guys. I will see you in about midweek or so, okay? Bye-bye.